Approaches to Writing in the Elementary Classroom, Jacqueline Radke, EDU 743. Introduction and Thesis Statement. Is there a right way for teaching writing in the classroom? Would writing be easier to teach if there was a formula, such as in math equations? In an elementary education classroom, students need to be exposed to writing in a variety of ways and through a variety of approaches to ensure that each student is reaching success and his or her individual needs are being met. In this presentation, we will discuss approaches that can be beneficial in teaching the writing process. To teach or not to teach. While writing is an integral part of the elementary program, due to lack of curriculum in some schools, writing tends to get pushed aside. There are many ways to approach writing. However, if a curriculum is not provided, some teachers just skip it. In a study done by Harvard, 3 types of teachers were observed: high implementers, transitional implementers, and low implementers. In this presentation, we will look at what constitutes each of the above categories. However, we will only focus on the high implementers. Low implementers. According to Harvard, teachers who were classified as low implementers reported on the survey that they valued the writing process, but did not use it in their teaching. They reported very little writing instruction during the literacy block and none across the content areas. Survey data showed they rarely exposed students to genres beyond personal narrative and made no effort for group instruction. They did not model writing, collaborate with students on writing projects, or allow time for independent writing. After the study was done, it was confirmed that these teachers were presented with a lack of time, as well as very little professional development in the area of writing. As a teacher, I know that the lack of professional development could lead to issues in teaching something. It's important that the teacher understands before teaching it to the students. Transitional implementers. These teachers valued process writing, writing workshop, and 6 traits writing assessment, but did not implement them regularly. They reported using explicit writing instruction during the language arts block, but not implementing writing across the content areas. Survey data showed they tended to emphasize the same writing genre for long periods and taught lessons to the whole class, rather than allowing students to work in small groups or independently. This is where most teachers tend to fall today. The balance between time and expertise continues to be a struggle. High implementers. After observations were conducted, the teachers classified as high implementers reported on the teacher survey that they valued and used the writing process, writing workshop, and 6 traits writing assessment. They also reported using needs-based writing instruction and integrating writing with content areas. Survey data also showed they used a variety of writing genres and grouping methods for instruction. They reported modeling writing, collaborating with students, and allowing time for independent writing. High implementers continued. The skills presented by the high implementers are essential to teaching writing in the elementary classroom. Collaborating with students is a great way to share the writing process with them through conferencing, as well as to scaffold the writing assignments and experiences for the students. In my classroom, using a conference information sheet is beneficial for tracking where each of my students are in the writing process and what they need to work on before the next conference. I also scaffold my writing instruction by providing sentence starters and a bank of transition words for my struggling writers. High implementers continued. Modeling is another essential strategy for writing success. In my classroom, I use the examples from the Empowering Writers curriculum to model the skill or strategy that we are focusing on in writing. When my students have a writing prompt, I also complete the prompt as an example for them to see as they work through their own thoughts. High implementers continued. Feedback is also a quality that was observed in the high implementers. In a study done by Steele, 2016, she noted, in essence, this approach required teachers to do what football coaches do, call out feedback on the spot and offer new challenges. But rather than commenting on the skills of passing and blocking, the teachers coached for commitment to detailed acts of imagination. Facilitators quickly observed, assessed, and described student performances in the moment, spontaneously prompting for revisions to develop the details of ideas. This relates back to that conferencing piece that is essential for student success in writing. High implementers continued. This is an area where I need to improve. Providing timely feedback to students on their writing is critical to their success, and because writing takes so much more time to read through and make comments, I tend to fall back on the feedback. This is where the conferencing piece becomes critical because that allows for immediate face-to-face feedback. Creative writing suggestions. In a study conducted by Akaya, several suggestions were made to improve the creative writing process in classrooms. Some of them included teachers should be provided with training, teachers should also be writing, teachers should be given opportunities to see the effects that writing instruction has on the other content areas. These suggestions are simple changes that can make a huge difference to the writing process and open up doors for ensuring success in students' writing. Assessments. Writing is a hard thing to assess because it is subjective. One way I will continue to assess my students is through the use of rubrics to score their writing. My colleagues and I created a rubric for each of our writing focuses, and the rubric is directly aligned to our report cards. I would also like to try to incorporate assessing through performance tasks in writing. Conclusion. In conclusion, I would like to see myself as a high implementer when it comes to writing in my classroom. As I look at it now, I do see some things that I do in this category. I still need some work to ensure greater success. I will continue to use the multiple strategies that I currently use, as well as apply some of the new strategies I read about in the research to continue to provide meaningful writing instruction to my students. The following are the resources that I used.